Welcome to class, everybody. Today we'll be looking at greed and its effects. And the focus of today's class will be the greed of Ahab. Let us quickly look at the lesson objectives. Yes, there's a need for us to define greed and examine the greed of Ahab, and of course we'll do our best to outline or extract one or 2 points of significance. Now, greed basically is when you are not satisfied with what you have, when you are interested in acquiring somebody else's property, when you are not content with what is within your means. And the Bible is replete with very many examples of this vice that need to be avoided in the society. For today's class, we'll be looking at the greed of King Ahab. Now, King Ahab, like the Bible states very clearly, was the king of Israel at this point in time. There was a man called Naboth who had a vineyard that was close to the king's palace. But for reasons best known to Ahab now cultivated a very rare desire in the vineyard of Naboth. And Ahab became interested in acquiring this vineyard. Of course, he approached Naboth, but Naboth declined the king's offer, insisting that the vineyard was an inheritance and it had to continue with his children. The king insisted he would give Naboth something better and even at a better price, but Naboth refused. And so the king went to his palace, and was sad. But he had a very greedy wife called Jezebel, and she encouraged him in the fact that he would still acquire the vineyard. Well, eventually, Jezebel, without knowledge, her husband's knowledge, wrote letters in her husband's name and set Naboth up. And Naboth was innocently murdered. He was stoned to death. And the vineyard was taken from Naboth and given was taken from Naboth, yes, and it was given to Ahab. And as Ahab attempted to take over the vineyard, that was when the rebuke of God now came upon Ahab at this time. In fact, the consequences were so grave that at the end of the day, Ahab lost his life, and even Jezebel, the wife who encouraged him to take over Naboth's vineyard, she also lost her life. The Bible says that her body was even eaten by dogs. I need you to read through the Bible references given across to you in Google Classroom. It's a very simple story. I need you to read through the Bible references and do justice to the cause of your class task. I want us to take note of this strong point of significance, that greed has no benefits whatsoever. Greed does not satisfy the person who is greedy. In fact, the negative effect of greed is that those who are innocent are people who tend to suffer more than the actual person who is suffering from the vice called greed. So it's a vice, it's a negative tendency that has to be discouraged in the society. It has to be discouraged amongst ourselves. It has to be discouraged even in the family. It's a vice that should not be allowed to develop or encourage at all. So just read through the attachment set across to you, and please do justice to the class task. It is my hope that by the time you'll be through, we'll be meeting next class again. We'll be having a wonderful time. God bless you. Have a nice day.